Hi friends, are you finding this season you have more Masters players in your lobbies than ever before? Well, I've done some investigating and I wanted to share a couple of reasons why I think you might be getting more Masters players in your lobbies. Also, let me know your experience if you are getting too many Masters players in your lobbies. So, there are 3 reasons why I think you're seeing more Masters players, particularly triple stacked Masters and even Predators in your lobbies this season. The 3 reasons are matchmaking, ranked, and the population. Let me talk about each 3 individually, and I'll start by talking about ranked. So how does ranked affect you and mean you've got more Masters players in your lobbies? Well, it's no secret that the ranked system isn't very popular this season. The new system has made it harder to rank up faster. Therefore, a lot of people, particularly Masters and Predators, have all decided it's not worth their time, and instead they're deciding to play more pubs this season. Of course, not all of them, there's still plenty of Masters and Predators trying to grind, but there is also a good chunk that's just playing pubs now. I don't have stats for this, but I did do some research across the communities, and if you look on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, and other common forums for Apex Legends communities, you'll see the feeling is very much the same. So that's why I think you're seeing more Masters players in pubs. But of course, in ranked as well, you might be seeing lots more Masters and even Predators. Now this is because in ranked, everyone was hard reset at the start of season 13, meaning all ranks from bronze up to Masters and even some Predators all got bunched together in the lower ranks. And that's why you're coming across them more in ranked. The next reason I want to look at is down to population. What I mean by this is the number of players that reached Masters last season, because that determines who gets the dive trails and rewards for this season. Now if you didn't know, season 12 was actually one of the easiest seasons to wrap to Masters, even easier than this season. This is part of the reason why last season had one of the highest amount of players reaching Masters. You can see the stats show around 32,000 players reached Masters across all platforms. That's close to 5% of all players. And this is just based on those being tracked by tracker.gg as well. In reality, across the community, there's probably even more players that reach Masters. Now if you compare this back to season 8, where the percentage of players to get Masters and Predator were only 0.4%, and back in season 7, it was only 0.2% compared to the 5% last season. So you can see a massive jump in the number of players getting Masters in season 12. But why does this mean there are more Masters players in your lobbies? Well, there are only a finite number of people playing the game and readying up at the same time as you at a given point in time. So the more players that get Masters the previous season, the more likely those players are to be in your lobbies. If it's any consolation, I do expect a lot fewer players to get Masters this season, so in theory season 14 should have less Masters in your lobbies. Now the final reason you might have more Masters players in your lobbies is down to matchmaking. I won't go too deep into matchmaking today because I do want to do some experiments myself and make a future video about it where I can include some actual figures. The thing we do know about matchmaking is that Apex Legends does use skill-based matchmaking because it's been confirmed by devs numerous times, as you can see here with this example from a dev on Twitter. There is a common belief in the community that matchmaking has changed in recent seasons. There are many factors that go into matchmaking. Obviously in ranked is based on your current rank and your performance in that rank. And so generally if you're anything below diamond and see Masters players there, more than likely it's because they haven't ranked up, and that might be because they've not played much ranked or they're just struggling with the new ranked system. Although having said that, I have seen situations where gold players and full gold teams and below are getting put in Predator lobbies up against current season Predators. Now I think this is just because there are so few people playing ranked and getting to the higher ranks this season, and Apex will always prioritize matchmaking speed over skill balance to a certain degree. So that's kind of the reason why you might be seeing more Masters and Predators in your lobbies through ranked due to matchmaking. I would say for pubs it is slightly different to ranked though, because there is a skill based assessment that goes on for pubs, but it is a little bit more relaxed than you see in ranked. And Apex devs have said before that pubs does place a heavy onus on recent performance, in addition to your account level and account skill. And if we think about the overall aim of matchmaking, especially in pubs, is player experience. But that doesn't just mean winning all the time. In fact, something interesting the devs said before is that the churn rate, which is when players leave the game, is just as high if people are constantly winning as it is if they're constantly losing. And I guess that makes sense if you think about it, because if you're just winning every game and it's too easy, you'll get bored. But at the same time, if it's too hard and you constantly lose, again, you'll get bored. So their matchmaking has to try and find a balance of this. However, we know in Apex Legends they do also try and reduce the amount of time you're waiting for a game. That's why if you're playing at certain off-peak times where there are not many people playing, you're definitely going to find there are more Masters players in your lobbies. Plus, if you're on a good game streak with multiple games with lots of kills and you're getting top 10s or top 5s or top 3s, then in your following games you're probably going to get a lot more Masters players and even Predators. So the reason I think it just feels worse this season with the matchmaking for pubs and ranked is because they have seemingly slightly relaxed the matchmaking in recent seasons to have more open lobbies with wider skill ranges. Now there is a lot of history behind top players complaining about old matchmaking in Apex Legends because the pub lobbies were just too close in skills, and they were basically saying as sweats in lobbies they don't want a lobby full of sweats because then it just becomes like a pro game. Unfortunately though, that then means all the other players have to suffer by having sweats in their lobbies. And I think that's why matchmaking has made it seem like lobbies are a little bit unfairer this season. The Gaming Merchant actually made a really great video on matchmaking in Apex Legends, which I recommend checking out. Overall though, those are the key reasons why I think you're seeing more Masters in your lobbies this season. I hope you found this interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.